Okay, so now let's look at Karnaugh maps with more variables. So now I have four variables, A, B, C, and D. And notice that I've labeled AB along the horizontal axis, and that has values of 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Oops, not supposed to do that, right? So I have to have the order backwards here on this. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, and then 1, 0. So it goes basically 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the same thing along the vertical axis for C and D, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. So we are changing the order here. That's the way that the Karnaugh map works. In fact, that's the only way it'll work is if you flip-flop those two things. The reason that is because you need to have have these axes so that only one variable changes at a time. So that as we go from this cell right here to that cell right there, we don't have two variables changing at the same time. All right, kind of made a mess of that, didn't I? All right, so after you put the ones and zeros in there, well, let's go ahead and do that. So if you look at these groups of four right there, you see that it corresponds to A and B all being equal to 0. So that's 1, 1, and then 1, 1. Notice I did it in the proper order. I go to the next block of 4, and I see that corresponds to A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1. So 1, 1, 0, 1. Now look at the next group. I go all the way out here to the end. We've got to be careful about that one. 0, 0, 0, 0. And then lastly, 0, 0, 0, 1. So be really careful about that last one. It's going to be located in this area here. And remember the second rule, I guess, for making Karnaugh maps. I'll go back over to that PDF file. The rule was make a grid, put ones and zeros in there. We're going to do circles. They need to be as big as possible. And you can only do groups of 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. Then we'll write the equation from that afterwards. Okay, so the groups of ones that I see is this one right here, and that one right there. Then I see a group of 2 like this, and a group of 2 like that. And that will probably give us the minimum solution. That means that I'm going to need 4 terms down here. So all I got to do is figure out from the circles there what these terms are. I know that I have 4 terms down here with OR that are all ORed together like that. Looking at this first one, I look at what's changing. And what you want to do is look at these 2 things right there and those 2 things right there and figure out what changes. You'll see that A stays off, so I'm putting A prime. B changes from 0 to 1 as we go through those 4, so we exclude it. C stays off going through those 4 right there, so I leave it in the 0 state, and D changes, so I exclude it. You want to do the same thing where this is the next term, the next term, and the next term is over here. Alright, so that's the process of doing a 4x4 Karnaugh map. Let me do one more for you. Looking at this one right here, you'll see that A right here changes, so I exclude it from this, but B stays on. And then also you'll see that as I go between those 2 cells, that C and D stay in the on state, like so. So you see that there's an advantage of making a bigger circle. This group of 4 right there gives you a small term. A smaller group right here gives you a bigger term like that. So the bigger the circles, the better you are at getting the minimum solution with Karnaugh maps.